Just to quickly jump in. So I'm David Nanda. I am the CTO and founder of HoneyCoin. Now, a fun way to describe what we essentially do is we're sort of like if Coinbase and Gumroad had a baby, and that baby was born in Africa. And the reason like that description is a really good fit for us is essentially building like a monetization platform and social commerce and P2P platform for both African creators and consumers to essentially monetize their audiences globally. So in terms of our core team, like as I mentioned, I'm the CTO and founder, and like with me here is Dom, who's like our head of product, and is just jumping on to like help us get to like the millions of users that we'll be serving in the over the coming months. In terms of my experience, I've had like a number of experience working on engineering capacity across like multiple companies, notably including Fluttwave, Vandel, and Google Africa, as well as like selling previous acquisitions. So let's quickly jump to the problem. Social commerce and P2P monetization in Africa is broken. So there's like a number of different reasons for this, but we'll touch on three in particular. One, African creators and consumers around existing platforms have just not been optimized for in any regard. So you can see this in the payout and payment methods available, as well as like the nuances of how the platforms are built to support this particular market. And that's like one of the fundamental issues that we're tackling, as well as like liquidity. So the currency supported also then tie into like the amount of reach these individuals have to not only buy, sell, transact with each other, but also interact with each other cross-border. How we're solving this in partnership with Stellar is through a very unique approach, I'd say. Like we've built basically an ecosystem of products that are mutually like cohesive and contributing to each other. And how that looks like is we have a consumer experience in the form of like our DeFi wallets that supports Stellar, and our P2P fiat wallet, which allows users to essentially on and off ramp between Stellar and Stellar XLM and like the other sort of like XLM assets that are supported. And then the like core platform is just like the monetization platform, which is like the overall way that individuals can create and mint NFTs, create digital products and sell these products through like our very like unique escrow engine that we've built out across like the payment links. So attraction has been pretty exciting, but I will not dive in very deeply here. I just wanted to provide an overview. We've grown 600% since January. We just processed an all-time high in August of transaction volume. And by partnering with Stellar, we believe that we'll be able to get to $100,000 in monthly GTV by Q1 of next year. If you're interested, I'd be able to connect, but I want to jump into the demo, which is the most fun part right now.
David, awesome. Just to note, you guys are a tiny bit behind schedule, so if you can move the demo along, that'd be great.
Yes, definitely we'll move it along. Okay. So go on ahead. Stop sharing. So I'll just quickly wanted to jump in and show like our non-custodial wallet. And I'll do this very briefly, not even focus on a lot. And so you can probably see my screen already. We've actually, over the past day, we've actually built a direct integration with Stellar on mainnet. So what you're seeing right here is the non-custodial consumer wallet. And over the bootcamp, we've actually then built direct support for Stellar on mainnet. So individuals and all the transactions that I'll display right now are actually happening on mainnet. So on the consumer wallet, users can actually send, receive, and withdraw assets through various anchors like Flutterwave and ClickPesa, which we've directly integrated with. But outside of that, these individuals can actually also like leverage our basically the unique system that we built, which we're calling HivePay, which is like a fast checkout way to actually make payments that's authorized in a very MetaMask-like way through our Albedo integration. And Albedo is essentially like MetaMask, but on the Stellar network. So I'm not actually gonna spend too much time here. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing and then show like the most unique aspect of the platform, which is the dashboard. So very quickly, what you're seeing here is actually the monetization dashboard. So here, individuals can actually create digital and physical representation of assets, track the assets. As you can see on the right here, I can see that my Stellar balance is X amount. I can then also create or like mint different assets. So I can choose to mint like NFTs on Stellar, as well as like the other chains that we support. I can also then like very quickly view the assets I've already created, as well as the transactions. So as you can see here, I've received a couple of like different amounts on Stellar, XLM that is. So I received Stellar Lumens for different products that I had. And then moving over to just like to show like the transaction flow, which will be the final thing that I'll show. So let's say I go on David's payment link, which is linked to his account, and I want to like make a payment to David, or I want to actually make a payment for, one of the assets or payment links that David has here. So I can essentially just put in the amount, and put in my email. Say I want to pay by crypto, and then I select Stellar. So what it's doing now is it actually creates an escrow address, and that escrow address is then minted, like created directly on the mainnet. So this is a live address on the mainnet, and you can see that the amount was converted from KES into XLM. So I know that I need to pay 3 Stellar lumens. So when I select Pay with Hive, what's pretty cool as well is you'll see that it pulls up my balance, but it also allows me to, like, it sends a one-time password to my email. So I come here, I check my email right now. I can come here, and what I've gotten is actually a one-time password. So if I reload this and put in the one-time password, so that one-time password is 2716. So I put in the one-time password. It'll actually authorize the transaction through our Albedo interface tied to the non-custodial wallet that we support. And what it's doing now is it broadcasts that transaction directly and is transferring the assets to David, who can be receiving a payment for a service delivered for the product escrow that I wanted to purchase. So I selected the product, and as you can see, it's successful. And what's really cool about this is if I am able to go here on account, all of these transactions that are happening are actually happening on the mainnet. So everything is actually ready to go. We'll be deploying this. Yeah, as you can see here, it's the recent transaction that happened for X amount in XLM that was sent to like the other address. So as I mentioned, this is all live, and it's also live on like product links. So individuals can essentially like attach product links anywhere and get paid out to like their, either through like their direct payment link or escrow these payment links for like different use cases, like if it's a service payment link, if it's a product payment link, and such. And yeah, that's pretty much the demo. So we're HoneyCoin, and as I mentioned before, we're currently actually in the we're currently looking to close like a very early round of 500K, and we'll be happy to talk to any investors who would love to dig in and hear more. But yeah, thanks so much, and would love to take any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you. Thanks, David. Very, very cool use case. Obviously, social commerce is growing like crazy, and the kind of pain point you guys identified is definitely one we've seen as well. So really, really interesting approach and demo.
Thank you.
Impressed with how much you guys were able to build in a short amount of time. Any questions quickly from the audience? Again, we're a tiny bit behind schedule, but we can take a question or two if anyone's got one. No questions? Well, you guys must have done a great job in your presentation. You answered everything questions before they had the chance to ask them, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, just because we are a little bit behind